Ayo, what's good? Eric is here, and we're back on the channel with another video. So, today, guys, we are going to be reacting to a J. Cole compilation interview, and it's just, some real life, real talks kind of shit. And, I just want to touch up on it, talk about it, give you some advice. Not advice, but just, life experience and shit like that. But yeah, let's get right into it.
Anybody would do, for the most part, anything for the money.
Lower that.
People that's pimping themselves out on TV or even really just, selling their bodies. I'm talking about people that go to a job every day that they hate. You sold out too. We all sellouts. You selling out. You're going to something that you don't like. Why? So you can live and survive. Life don't feel like it's supposed to be like that no more. You know what I mean? It don't feel right. It don't feel like somebody's time got to be worth more than $8 an hour.
Right.
You spend your whole day going to work.
8
hours out of your
8
day.
8 hours out of your day.
Day is only 24 hours. You're going to sleep 8 of those. So right away, that's 16 hours.
Except for me, who doesn't sleep at all.
Is making $8 an hour. Even if you get 15 an hour and they trying to raise minimum wage, like what, to 15? An hour of my life is worth.
Okay, see, the thing is, people in North America, right? The thing in North America is that we live to work, meaning that we live our lives day to day. We go to university, all this stuff, just to work. And that's the sad thing, right? If you go over to the Europeans, like in France, they work to live, meaning their whole life does not surround work. Versus what we're doing is our whole lives surround our work lives. Our work lives is top priority versus where you go to like France or England or something. Their work lives are not the priority. Their actual life, their living life is their priority. And yeah, that's just something to think on, like, as you go through this cycle we call life. Like, what is it that we're really focusing our priorities on? Like, what is our happiness? Where do we get our happiness from? And I know some people will say work, but in reality, it's not true. Now, I'm not saying don't go work, don't get a good job, don't get this, because obviously we need that. But I'm saying you need to look at where your priorities are in life. And for myself, like, I'm just getting this habit. Like, I don't want to be labeled. I don't want to have a label for the rest of my life. Being like, for example, like, oh, you want to go into be an engineer, so you're a label for your rest of your life, or at least the life that you're working, that part of your life where you're working, you're going to be known as the engineer or the accountant. But like, I don't want to be known like that. Like, oh, I just want to be known for just living my life. You know what I'm saying? But like, let's continue.
$15. Okay, but I gotta do it.
Yeah.
I gotta work. I gotta eat.
Right.
You want a plantation?
You need to work. It's essential. Essential to live and maintain a healthy living life. That's facts. So basically, like, talk about you grind for money, right? You get your first 100, you're like, oh, look, I'm making banks. Let me go for my next 200, 300, 400, 500. And, it goes on. And you're corrupt in that cycle of making money and the constant need to be making money over and over and over again, right? And eventually you start to cloud out the little things in your life that what makes you you. So like your family, your ride or dies, the important people in your life, the important aspects in your life, what makes you you. So maybe that's going to the gym, you're playing basketball. That's for me, right? Making this kind of stuff, gaming, you forget all those little things that make you you, and you lose perspective of all that when you're on that grind for more and more. Yeah. Hmm.
Absolutely do what's in your heart.
Exactly.
Period.
Period.
Say what's on your mind. Speak what's in your heart and how you really feel. Be something else. When you're trying to fit into what's going on, it's like you kind of stray away from your path a little bit. And sometimes you want to expand your style and like grow, and that's always good. But like never veer too far from who you are, you know, as a person.
Stop looking at what you don't have and what's not happening for
Yep.
you, and start appreciating like
Appreciate
what you do
actually
have. Like, my man, you got on
Yeah.
a nice watch, like your hat is fresh, like you're in New York City, it's the land of opportunity, you know what I mean? You're a good looking guy, I'm sure you got maybe a girlfriend, like there's a lot of things, your family, there's a lot of things to be
You gotta
grateful
just be
for.
grateful and
And that's the
appreciate.
only way you can climb out of like a place of focusing on what you don't have, is by focusing on like, man, what do I have to be thankful
Yeah.
for? And everybody got something to be thankful for. Even a
You know,
homeless
you got
man,
your roof,
if he
you
wanted
got,
to, he
you
could
know,
be
I
like,
got
yo,
this
I'm
desk,
breathing
I
today.
got
Like,
this platform. I'm
you know what I
able
mean?
to
Like, my arms
share
work, my legs work.
my thoughts on
You can
it.
start very small, and it's
I
a
have
process,
roof,
but that's how you
ate
can get
today,
about
you know,
like
I
a
drank water.
negative space like that.
Let's read this quote together, guys. You are perfect exactly as you are, with all your flaws and problems. There's no need to change anything. All you need to change is the thought that you aren't good enough. And that's facts. But yeah, so like going off of that, like you see, like most of us, we worry about things that we don't have yet. We worry about in the future, like, oh, I don't have a car, or I don't have a house. When will I ever get that kind of stuff? Or I don't have a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you're into yet, or I want kids. But the thing is, like, you can't focus on what you don't have yet. You gotta focus on what you have right now. I know that might seem like basic knowledge, basic advice, but most people don't go by it, you know. And you don't want to get caught up in the cycle. Like for me, I know for me, when I first started like seriously getting to work, like when I got my first job after high school, or during high school and then after high school, then I took a break, and then I got a job in my second year. So you know, it's like I got my first 100, and after my first 100, I want to get my second 100, my third 100, and then get all the way up to 1,000. Right now, I'm here at 1,000. I'm like, I'm making a lot of money, and I'm making a lot of money fast. So I start a side hustle. You know, I resell sneakers. You know, resell items. I'm like, look at me, I'm making more money, and in that process, you know, I'm just focused on the money. I'm focused on this and that is truly depressing, because you eventually realize that money isn't gonna bring you happiness. You know what I'm saying? Thought I'm on top of the world, but you know, I got that 100K. I bought a car. So what's next? You know, I can't buy a house. I had to pay off my tuition. I pay off my rent. You know, all the money's gone. And then I'm sitting like, okay, so like, I got all this money. I got all the way to 100K. But what did that really do for me? And it's crazy when you think about it, because you know, you can buy all these things. Like I buy a lot of shoes, or I used to buy a lot of shoes, buy a lot of clothes. I think that would bring me happiness, you know. And in a sense, it does. And in a way, you can make it, because you know, for me, I like to look good, just for myself, and be presentable. I like to be presentable. I don't like to look like a bum in public, you know. Honestly, you know, it's never easy. Never ever is easy, you know. And I'm gonna keep it real. The one way I stop, or not stop, like I'm just less in a depressed state of mind, or a negative state of mind, is I just stop caring, you know. This person thinks I'm short. That's okay. I'm short, okay. I can't change that, you know. This person thinks I got a big forehead. Okay, that's true. My forehead bigger than some beluga whales, bro. You know those white ones with the big foreheads. I'm like, yeah. You just gotta embrace it. You know, you just gotta stop caring. Like, and then you can't get trapped with social media. Stop comparing yourself with social media. You can't. You just, you know, social media is just there for entertainment. It's not. It shouldn't be ever that serious. Never ever should be that serious. Like, I used to post. I used to be in that trap. I post every month a picture on Instagram, and I realized over time, nobody cares, because they don't. They really don't care. And you can post on Twitter or something, Instagram, Facebook. Oh, I just got a new car. Oh, I just bought a new house. Oh, I got this CEO position in Amazon, let's say. Not gonna happen, but for being realistic, for a typical average person. But like, let's say that happened, right? No one's gonna care though. They'll see like, oh, that's cool, and then go on to their day like 5 minutes later. They don't care. And then once you realize that nobody really cares like that, you get a sense of peace in your mind. You get a sense of relief. You're like, oh, all this pressure is gone just like that. And you start to think to yourself like, okay, nobody cares. I don't have any pressure. There's no societal norms I have to follow. There's no I can be different, I can have all these features about me that are different and it'll be okay. Because nobody really truly cares at the end of the day. If somebody's really caught up in what other people looks like in their life, then that's internal. That's the issue that they have with internal, and they have to deal with that themselves. But for the most case, like nobody cares. I don't say nobody cares about you. Obviously, your family, your friends care about you, but like in the whole grand scheme of things, you need to stop putting that additional pressure on yourself. And you can't. This one's a tough pill to swallow, but like you can't sit around and be waiting for people to feel sorry for yourself, or you gotta stop feeling sorry for yourself, because at the end of the day, no one's gonna be feeling sorry for you. Everyone goes through shit. And everyone is valid for what they go through. I can go on and on what I've gone through in my life, but I'm not going to, because nobody really cares, or no one's gonna be sitting there like watching me and feeling sorry for me. Not be like, because they'll be like, oh, but I've gone through this, and that as well. So is my reason valid? Your reason are valid. That stuff you gotta internalize, and you gotta deal with right away. You gotta try to deal with right away. But I'm not no expert or anything. I'm just speaking based off my experience in life. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But I feel like once you get to that point where you're able to see the good things, the positive things, you're able to like finally get on your feet and whatnot, that's when like it's not as hard anymore. And then you start to feel better about yourself. But yeah, going back to like everything I said, like you just gotta live right now. Live in the moment. You don't want to worry about your past, even your past. Like, oh, you could think back in your past and be like, oh, I could have been a lawyer instead of been a marketing major, like what I'm doing right now, right? Like you getting caught up on a girl in the past, or a guy, whatever you're into. Let's say you're getting caught up on a significant other from the past. You could say to yourself, oh, what if I stayed with them? How will life be today? But you'll never really know. And you never ever will really know. And you can't stress on that. Don't stress on your past decisions, and don't stress on the future decisions that haven't been made yet. Your past is your past, and your future is your future. I know it sounds like basic talk. Everyone talks about it, but like, yeah, it's basic talk, but not nobody, like a grand majority of people don't like internalize that in themselves, and you need to internalize that kind of stuff. And then once you internalize all this stuff, like this is from my experience. Like I've internalized, I've come to compromise, I've come to accept everything that I've talked about here in this video, and I'm chilling, bro. I'm just chilling nowadays. I'm just chilling. Obviously, there's gonna be low days. I have low days. You have low days, and I have high days. You have high days. But I promise you that over time, give it time, and it gets better. It gets better. Trust me. You may not believe that now, and that's fine. It may not be the situation for you right now, and that's completely okay. But over time, I'm not saying like overnight, over a week, over a month, over a year, even over 2 years, but eventually you'll get into that point of life where, all right, I'm gonna stick on my shit. I'm gonna get to where I need to get to. I'm gonna stay on my grind, and we're blessed. This is how I go about my life. I'm not saying you have to do that yourself. You don't have to. You don't have to listen to whatever I'm saying. But I'm just saying that's what works for me. You guys enjoyed, and follow my links in the description if you want to. Subscribe if you want. Put a like on the video. Comment if you got any other advice. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in my next video.